Hello, everybody. My name is Cameron Kempf. I am one of the supporting leads in the ICA team. Well, here I have Victoria with us. She recently closed with one of our Zillow Premier customers, and we're just going to go over basically what happened throughout the process. Victoria made multiple offers with this client that didn't necessarily get accepted the first time around. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, as well as some of the struggles that they had during escrow with the loan and the lender that they had, and how Victoria was able to use her professionalism to get these people a house. So nice to meet you, Victoria. How you doing today?
Doing well, thank you, Cameron. So, basically, this was I was new to the team. This was one of my first assignments out there. Ran out there, I took my buyer's package, had that all prepped. I usually keep about five in the car, just ready to go. So I just print the MLS and we head out. Met the buyers. It was a very busy, it happened to be an open house happening when I had the appointment, but they did not want to go unattended. So we met. It was the very first house that they ever looked at,
Wow.
since they decided that they were going to start shopping. It was like the very first at a bat. They loved it, but then they thought, it's too soon. It's our first one. Shouldn't we see, multiple homes?
Hmm.
So we hit it off right away. They felt very comfortable, and I said, you know what, let's put it together and let's keep going. So we did.
Nice.
We actually toured a few different areas because they weren't sure where they wanted to end up. So we got a feel for some different neighborhoods. I kind of gave them the lowdown of we went all the way up to Santa Clarita, but eventually they settled in North Hills because that's where their family was.
Nice.
And they're thinking of starting a family, so they wanted to stay kind of close. Uh, so we did write a couple of offers. They fell in love with a couple of homes in a very small community. North Hills does have like a lot of little micro communities.
Mhm.
And so they loved it. They loved that it was gated. They loved that it was brand new. They wanted something very turnkey. They didn't want to have a lot of repairs. This is their very first home. We struck out a couple of times in that same complex. The builder was starting to sell them off one by one after they had been rented for a couple of years. I did prep them up front and said, listen, this is a very competitive, tough market. I am going to go to bat for you. I've got this. I've got you. They trusted me. They really followed my directions. So it was a really great partnership.
Awesome.
Um, so we did lose out. So I could tell they were disappointed, but they were prepared.
Right.
We just kept going forward, and I found one that came up. It was actually below what they were looking for in their price point, just a little bit below. And we got in,
Awesome.
and our offer was accepted. It was great. I mean, it was just a real much bigger square footage than they thought they could get. Back in North Hills, exactly where they wanted to be, less than they wanted to spend. So it was a win-win-win.
That's
And they
awesome.
got solar panels that were paid off. So that was exciting. Um, so the lender on this particular, he because of the nature of the connection that he had with the lender, he
Mhm.
was going to use him. So I do know that they were an out-of-state loan officer and
Okay.
an out-of-state lender, which is fine. I did try to make sure that I was on the same page with the lender from the very beginning when I got the pre-approval letters. And I said, listen, this is California. We do things a little differently here. Thought we were on the same page.
Oh.
Um,
Uh-oh.
so we started going through the process. We did our inspections, everything, just walked through step by step. And I told him, I said, listen, I don't, he was very worried, very concerned about the entire process.
Hmm.
Um, and I said, listen, let's just take it one step at a time. Let's peel the layers away like an onion. I don't want to anticipate what could go wrong. Let's just take what we've got. Let's stick to our contract. That's very important. Our contingencies are very important, and this is why. So we did our inspections where everything's going through just fine. The seller agreed to do a couple of little things for the buyers. So the loan contingency was coming due.
Mhm.
And I thought, let me just check in with everybody and triple check, quadruple check that we're all on the same page.
Yep.
And it turns out that the lender thought that we were going to sign loan docs, fund, and close at a table all on the same day
Wow.
because we had a specific close of escrow date. And, I had questioned it was time for us to remove our loan contingencies and it was time to order loan docs. We were at that point in the transaction. Well, they are moving a little slower on the East Coast. So there
Hmm.
were some things that they needed to certify with the HOA. It was a little slow going, so we couldn't quite yet get our contingencies removed. So that was putting a little stress on the situation because we were falling out of contract. Ultimately, it took a lot to kind of shake up that loan officer and let him know, this is California. That's not how we do it here.
Right.
And so there was a lot of, I had to kind of go to a supervisor and kind of let them step in and say, listen, this is what's happening. This is where we are. We've got, unfortunately, to kind of light a fire, get everybody moving. We completely forgot about a holiday. So had it not been for that holiday, after all of that, we would have closed perfectly on time because I
Wow.
caught the problem in time. It's important to be proactive and
Yes.
just don't leave it up to all the other moving parts and people in the transaction. So I did, and I was able to catch it in the nick of time, get it all done. And I had completely forgotten about that holiday. And so we had to record the following day. So we're off by one day. But we made it to the finish line. The buyers were so happy. They're so happy with their purchase. Catching that mistake could have really been very costly.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's an awesome success story. I think
yeah,
the main thing I'm hearing in your success is preempting. And it's not only preempting your clients, right? Because if you hadn't preempted them about this is a competitive market, then at that point, if one offer doesn't get accepted, the second one doesn't get accepted, at that point they might be thinking, well, what is my agent doing wrong versus, oh, well, Victoria already told us it's a competitive market. So you're preempting them, already understanding that, and then you save the day at the end by preempting essentially the loan officer, not just expecting them to do what they're supposed to do, or what most lenders do. You actually took that extra step to follow up with them and do four extra things basically to make sure it was closed. So I'm sure your clients were really just happy with everything. And the great thing about it is you also nurtured them, right? You didn't say, our first offer didn't get accepted. You didn't allow them to ghost you, right? And in this business, Andrew was actually just talking to me saying on average it takes 63 days to close, to find someone a house, right? And so
sure.
I think yours was right around that 60 to 90 days, right? And so I think that's a great inspiration and motivation for agents that may get clients that don't write an offer the first time, the second time, or maybe get multiple offers declined. It gives them a little bit more motivation to understand that it is a process. But as long as you're preempting people, you're preparing everyone, even during escrow, even the last couple of days, things could still happen, so
Oh yeah.
congratulations. That's really awesome. That's an awesome story.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It
Absolutely.
was a great experience and we're going to be client and agent for life, I think. We're
Yes,
still
exactly.
texting, doing follow-up calls, how's
Yes.
it going, all of that sort of thing. So I told them it doesn't end at the close of escrow.
Yep.
So
And
that's
that's
also
awesome.
yeah, it's very comforting for them because it's their first time and they were nervous. They were nervous first time buyers, but now they're
Yeah.
very confident.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. And I think the beautiful thing about real estate is it takes a long time to build your pipeline, as they say, or your book of business. But once you do, if you've done a good job, then those people, when they're ready to sell, they're gonna sell with you, and they'll possibly, allow you to do some dual agency where you're purchasing, helping them find a new home and selling their old home. So, I think
Absolutely.
you did awesome, and I really appreciate
Thank
you taking
you.
today to go through that. I think that's going to help a lot of people. I know it helped me. So thank you so much for your time, Victoria, and I hope you
You're
have a good day.
welcome. Thanks, Cameron.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Take care. I'll
right.
talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.